At the ITS America 2021 annual meeting, the intelligent transport community gathers in Charlotte, North Carolina to network, connect, and exchange the latest ideas on emerging technologies, products, and transport solutions. The annual meeting program explores a wide range of topics such as connected and automated technologies, equity and accessibility, big data, security, logistics, and of course, the latest impact of the COVID pandemic on transportation. Attendees have access to thought-provoking sessions, live demonstrations, technical tours, and networking with colleagues and peers. And ITS TV is right here, bringing you all the latest from this year's meeting. Welcome to the Charlotte Convention Centre and episode 2 of ITS TV 2021. Now, as attendees return for day 2 of the meeting, we're here to find out the very latest about intelligent transportation. We speak to Laura Chase and Ramin Masumi to find out more about the Mobilityxx campaign. Janet Walker-Ford tells us about efforts to improve diversity and inclusion in the transport community. Randy Awasaki and Jeffrey Dale talk to us about new trends and directions in intelligent transportation, and we also take a look at global trends in intelligent transportation in Canada and the US. And we speak to some exhibitors to find out more about why they chose to attend the annual meeting this year. We're thrilled to present such an exciting show to you, so stay tuned for all the very latest content. But first, we have an interview with Laura Chase and Ramin Masumi. You're watching ITS TV. Joining me now are Laura Chase and Ramin Masumi to talk about ITS America's Mobilityxx campaign, which aims to get more women into leadership roles in transportation. Well, first of all, thank you both very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us today. We really appreciate it, so thank you.
Our pleasure.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Mobilityxx, what is it?
If you look at the overall transportation sector, which is about a 15 million person workforce, women make up only 15% of that workforce and even fewer at decision-making levels. And when then you take a next step and you look at, well, what does that mean for women? Why is that important? You actually can see that if you look at how women use the transportation system, there are a lot of inequities that women in particular, but also diverse folks face with the system. So for example, women pay more for safe transportation. And so Mobilityxx was created to bring awareness and to bring some action within the industry to support the need for more female voices in transportation, more female voices in leadership, so that we can actually create the outcomes that serve not only women, but all community members better in our transportation system.
So what do we need to do to improve equity and inclusion in transportation?
It really starts from lots of community outreach, getting people in the communities engaged, starting at an early age, getting young women excited, interested in serving their communities, serving the transportation community, either as engineers, policymakers, and then once they enter the workforce, working through that and providing an ability for them to progress in the ranks within whatever organization they're in.
So Laura, what's the plan? What have you got planned going into 2022?
One of the initiatives within our Mobilityxx work is we did launch a pledge just about 6 weeks ago, and we're calling it the 10 in 10 pledge. And it is a call to action for the broader transportation industry to increase the number of women in the transportation industry by 10% in 10 years. And so we have asked for our member companies and other companies in this space to sign this pledge and commit to taking action that will meaningfully increase the number of women in their companies, thereby helping us get to this 10 in 10 goal. And then also for the World Congress, we have had a lot of interest in this topic, and so we are planning a gender equity in transport forum at the World Congress, where we do want to bring in other countries, and so the global community can collectively come together and hopefully brainstorm some solutions to this challenge.
Sounds great. Thank you both very much indeed for joining us. We really appreciate it, and I hope the Congress goes well for you, so thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
As a centre for innovation and applied research, the Innovative Vehicle Institute assists companies and organisations with design and integration projects for innovative technologies applied to vehicles. Let's head to Quebec now to see their three main areas of expertise: electric, autonomous and connected vehicles with their new Arion robot.
We are the Innovative Vehicle Institute, or IVI. Our experts develop prototypes of electric, autonomous and connected vehicles of any type, such as trucks and buses, and even aircraft systems. 6 years ago, we launched a $3.5 million research program applied to off-road autonomous and connected vehicles.
Like the iconic cities of the future, with special infrastructures and telecommunications, the agricultural industries of the future will also require intelligent vehicles to facilitate field work and make farmers' yields more reliable, while leaving a sustainable and eco-responsible legacy in their environment. The challenge was to create 100% electric equipment with 4 independent driving and steering wheels and offering an adjustable clearance between the wheels.
Not only did the navigation system have to be able to move precisely through a field, but it had also to detect the crop, adjusting its path to optimize the quality of the wheeling.
As part of our research program, we conducted a project in robotic control and perception for Contron, a world leader in embedded computing technology. Our vision for 2025? To become a reference in North America for vehicular innovation. Considering our growth of the last 5 years, we are confident to turn this vision into reality.
The Alabama Transportation Institute is preparing for the future of mobility. Innovative research is underway in autonomous electric and connected vehicles, and the latest project, the AMP initiative, Alabama Mobility and Power, includes a $35 million investment and a public-private partnership. Let's go find out more.
My name is Alan Parrish. I'm the Executive Director of the Alabama Transportation Institute. We created an acronym that we refer to as ACES Squared: automated, connected, electric, shared, and safe.
We bring together a tremendous group of faculty.
I'm an assistant professor at electrical and computer engineering at the University of Alabama.
I'm a mechanical engineering professor.
My name is Junlu. I'm an assistant professor of transportation engineering.
I'm a mixture of an algorithms and data structures sort of person.
My name is Alex Hanan. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Civil Construction and Environmental Engineering.
My name is Elsa Gabriel, and I am transportation research engineer.
If we go after the right projects and get the right awards, we can set up research which is really cutting edge.
It's not just research for the sake of research. It's research for trying to improve the lives of people in our state and beyond.
Image Sensing Systems is combating wrong-way driving with a two-pronged approach by influencing human behaviour and partnering with law enforcement. By focusing on outcome-orientated, data-driven wrong-way management strategies, ISS is working to make our roadways safer for all. Let's go take a look.
How can we affect human behavior as in regards to wrong-way driver? That's a tough one, because in the 10 or 11 years that we've been researching the wrong-way driver problem here in San Antonio, we have found out that a lot of the wrong-way drivers, at least that we see in San Antonio, are intoxicated. Some are 2 to 3 times the legal limit.
So our approach to the wrong-way driver problem is different than most. In our goal to get law enforcement engaged as quickly as possible, we've developed a service called Alert Trust. Because we're capturing video of these wrong-way driving events, we're able to capture which conditions are leading to that event and how that driver behavior is contributing to the ultimate resolution or continuation of that event onto the highway.
This system has the snapshot and the video, which is very helpful. Since 2011, when we started tracking this, we have now stopped 89 wrong-way drivers with this coordination between us and SAPD on the floor.
Next up, I'm joined by Randy Iwasaki and Jeffrey Dale to find out more about trends and innovations in transportation. Let's see what they have to say. Jeff, can I start with you? What do you think some of the latest trends are in transportation?
So when I was thinking about this question, I really tried to sum it down into a couple of things, being agility and equity. Instead of really talking about specific technologies, I think agencies are really looking at agility from a standpoint of, can the solutions be applied to lots of different needs? And also, can those solutions actually evolve as technology advances in the next few years? And then from an equity standpoint, I really think they're trying to focus on that complete trip. One being across all modes, that equity across all modes, but also an equity across all communities.
How do you think COVID has changed the dialogue over the last couple of years?
I think it's really driven our ability to integrate some tools into collaboration, being more collaborative. We were really forced into using things like Microsoft Teams when people were in different locations and so forth.
We showed how technology could bridge the gap in some cases, and so where we provide customer-facing services when the staff had to go home, we were still able to issue driver's licenses, address their phone calls, address concerns. And so, as Jeff said, we've adapted using technology to try to make sure we fill in those gaps caused by the breakage and the linkage from COVID.
If I asked you to put your future goggles on, what do you think some of the trends are going to be moving into the future?
The biggest innovation, in my opinion, for innovation was the iPhone. It brought internet to your pocket, to the user. And you look at the innovations in transportation after that, transportation network companies, you've got accessibility, you can run mobility as a service platforms, you can get scheduling right on your phone. So I'm really bullish on the fact that I think in the future, the younger people that are coming into transportation see transportation a little bit differently and are going to find solutions leveraging those technologies like the iPhone or the smartphone or the smart device in the future.
Jeff, what do you see the future?
Yeah, I want to piggyback on what you said about the younger users, and I think that's where agencies and organizations need to rely on the private sector and the market research to know how those users want to receive data, how those users are going to actually change their trip or change their decisions based on the information they're getting. At the same time, I think the private sector needs to listen to the organizations on what are their pain points right now, what are they really trying to address, so we can come up with the cool gadgets, but are we really helping them address those really critical needs that they have?
Well, gentlemen, thank you both very much indeed for joining us. We really appreciate it.
It's great to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
We're ITS TV, your daily news show featuring interviews and discussions on hot topics in intelligent transportation from this year's ITS America annual meeting. You can catch us around the Charlotte Convention Center, in your hotel room, and of course online. And you can join the conversation on social media. So with new content every day, you're not going to want to miss a beat. Joining me now is Janet Walker-Ford to talk more about diversity and inclusion in the transportation community. Let's go find out what she has to say. Well, first of all, thank you ever so much indeed for joining us today. Real pleasure, so thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Now, one of the big issues of the conference is equity and inclusion in transportation. So, I mean, first of all, how big a problem do you think it is?
Tremendous. And listen, this is the defining economic issue of our generation, of our lifetime, correct? So it is a big challenge, but I am so optimistic with the fact that we've got just tremendous opportunities to start addressing and solving this particular challenge. You know, the difference that this could make is all about accessibility, and that is for the people in the community that need transportation most. So it's a difference of whether they have accessibility to healthcare, quality healthcare, education, and jobs. That's the difference that equity and transportation makes.
What's great is there seems to be a lot of focus on this at the moment, doesn't there? And particularly at this conference. What do you think some of the steps are that we need to take?
Clearly, we've got to, and I think this is happening with the current Biden administration, the focus on policies, because what often will happen is that there are competing interests. that sometimes result in policies that create further inequities. So understanding how that begins is really important. And I think the focus that we're seeing from the administration, where equity and infrastructure is first, is very important. So we have to really think about that. And it's while we're thinking about moving forward as well, we've got to also reflect on the past, and so that we don't recreate problems, but we also we need to go back and address those inequities that have been put in place by communities that have been bifurcated or disconnected as a result of transportation, whether it be a bridge or a railway. So those issues, particularly in lower income, poor communities, disadvantaged communities, communities of color exist. So we've got to, at the same time, fix those issues while we're prioritizing the going forward as it relates to transportation solutions.
To fix those issues, how much does it matter that we have women and people of color in roles of leadership within transportation?
I think it's a significant criteria for solving those issues, because without those understandings, that relationship, being relatable to those communities and diverse populations, if you don't have folks that think differently, bring different perspectives to the table, then you may not get the best solutions and outcome. You really have to have women and people of color that can bring those perspectives. And together we can solve these issues. You know, now in this industry, though things were improving before COVID-19, we've been set back in terms of women in the workplace, as many had to go back and take care of children and different things during the pandemic. But we were making steady progress. But where we've got the deficit is women in leadership. We tend to be way behind as it relates to women overall, and certainly as we continue to go further up the corporate ladder and the leadership ladder, less women there, less women on boards as well, and less people of color. So we've got to right the ship. I'm really excited about the work that I personally get to do with ITS America, and I'm part of the Mobilityxx Steering Committee, where we're focusing on just that, measuring the impact that it makes as we continue to increase the number of women in leadership roles.
You know, we're all very focused on COVID and you know, coming through and coming out of COVID. But as you look to the future, as you look through this, are you optimistic that this is something that that this industry is really going to tackle?
I am. I absolutely am. And it's going to be important, because that sustainable, equitable solution is really what's going to be important. This cannot just be the trend or the flavor of the day. This has to be the way that we think about business and we think about transportation forever. And my optimistic vision is that working with the public and private sector and the communities, we will have the priorities necessary to ensure that we've got a transportation, an intelligent transportation system that provides the mobility that we need. It'll be important that funding continues to be a priority from our administration, and that as that funding is provided and appropriated, that it also is through the lens of equity, so that communities throughout the country are all that are giving the appropriate equitable funding and investment.
So that's really fascinating. Thank you ever so much. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed the conversation.
And finally, let's go speak to some of this year's exhibitors and find out why they're here.
There's a revolution happening in the way that we move, people, energy, data, goods, where they start, where they go, how they get there. And everyone here is contributing to that revolution in their own way, including us over here at Mobilityxx. And being able to share ideas and network is really a chance that we're not going to mess up.
We chose to choose ITS America because our hope was to meet with a lot of leaders in the industry, meet with other groups inside this industry as well, learn from them, learn from our customers, and also to launch our new product, enclosure management.
We've actually been attending a few of the ITS America events in the past, primarily walking through our parent company, Geotab. However, we launched a new line of business, Geotab ITS, just a few months back in September. And so this is our big coming to market show. I'm so excited to be here and display what ITS is about for us.
Kind of like's been coming to ITS America for several decades, actually. And really the core benefit that we receive from the show is really the technology collaboration. As ITS has started to evolve, we've moved from really disparate independent systems and control systems and data systems, and we're really moving into an ecosystem. where our sensors and our controllers need to integrate with a broad array of other technology companies, oftentimes historically had been competitors to us, but now it's really a collaborative environment where our data systems need to work together, and we need to solve bigger ITS challenges that require cross-pollination of various sensors and various systems together.
We are an autonomous vehicle software provider. We make a retrofit kit that goes into any existing vehicle and makes it fully autonomous for any designated zone. We came to ITS America because North Carolina Department of Transportation asked us to demonstrate this vehicle that we have, a fully FMVSS compliant vehicle that can operate at medium speeds, up to 35 miles per hour in fully automated mode, level 4 autonomy. And they want to show this technology operating in urban areas like Charlotte in fully autonomous mode, so it could help fill some gaps in public transit that exist in large cities.
What I'm most excited about is the idea of cooperative perception, of taking a lot of as-built infrastructure that we have, example being Econo Lake has 250,000 cameras out there. And there's a lot of partners here who are looking to as well leverage what's out there to really raise the state of practice and really improve the performance of our nation's infrastructure.
We launched our enclosure management solution this year in partnership with the City of Folsom. We did a deployment with them to improve efficiency and overall accountability in their enclosures. Presenting that, we did win the Innovation Award at Best of ITS America, and so we're very thankful for all those that voted for us.
I'm most excited getting to meet some of our new partners and customers that we work with historically, but now also being able to talk to them about some of the things we're looking to do in the market from an ITS perspective. So just being back together in person is definitely something that I'm most excited about for this show.
So I'm really excited to talk to our customers, to listen and learn. Our customers are cities and they're all different. They have different challenges and different goals. We can't build a solution to help them succeed without understanding what it is that makes them different and what their goals are.
That's it for our second day here at the ITS America 2021 annual meeting. Now, tomorrow we're going to catch up with Roger Miller and Jamie McCauley to find out more about ITS America's upcoming events. And we're also going to hear about plans for the 2022 ITS World Congress in Los Angeles. Before then, don't forget you can watch the show here in the Charlotte Convention Center in your hotel room and online. And don't forget to join in the conversation on social media. So until next time, it's goodbye.